You won't believe the dark twist behind that green ogre you love so much. The story that DreamWorks didn't want you to know about how a swamp, a tyrannical lord, and a princess with a knightly secret changed fairy tales forever. Get ready to discover all the encounters, all the appearances, and the hidden details that make Shrek a much more complex work than it seems. Hey clickers, subscribe with the bell activated, comment with the content you want to see on the channel, share this video to help us grow, and leave your hype. It helps us a lot. Released in the year 2001, the movie Shrek subverted all expectations of what an animated fairy tale film could be. The plot introduces us to a solitary ogre whose name is the title of the work, living in happy isolation in his swamp. The protagonist's peace is abruptly interrupted when countless fairy tale creatures are exiled to his property by order of the diminutive and cruel Lord Farquaad, the ruler of Duloc. Among the exiles are iconic figures like the Three Little Pigs, the Big Bad Wolf, Pinocchio, and the Three Blind Mice, who turn the ogre's home into a true refugee camp. Annoyed by the invasion, the main character decides to go to Duloc to demand that Farquaad give him his swamp back. He is reluctantly accompanied by a talking and extremely chatty donkey, whom he had saved moments before from Farquaad's guards. The journey of the two is the starting point for an adventure that challenges conventions and redefines heroism. Upon arriving in Duloc, the ogre and his unusual companion find themselves in a tournament organized by Lord Farquaad to choose a champion to rescue Princess Fiona from a tower guarded by a dragon. The Lord needed to marry a princess to become a legitimate king. Seeing the ogre's strength, Farquaad makes a deal. If the protagonist rescues Fiona for him, he will remove the fairy tale creatures from his swamp. With no alternative, the ogre accepts the mission. The journey to the castle is full of mishaps, but the unlikely duo manages to reach the tower. There, they face the female dragon, who surprisingly falls in love with Donkey. After a chaotic chase, they manage to rescue Princess Fiona, who proves to be a strong and skilled woman, far from the helpless damsel they expected. The princess is disappointed to discover that her savior is an ogre and not the Prince Charming she was expecting. During the journey back to Duloc, the dynamic between the ogre and Fiona begins to change. Initially hostile to each other, they gradually develop a connection, discovering affinities and sharing genuine moments. Donkey acts as a catalyst for this rapprochement, noticing the chemistry between the two. However, a great mystery surrounds Fiona. She insists on finding shelter every night before sunset, disappearing until the next morning. Donkey, curious, ends up discovering her secret. A curse cast on her in childhood transforms her into an ogress every night. The only way to break the spell is with true love's first kiss, which would make her take the true form of her love. This secret is the source of her anguish and her rush to marry Farquaad. The climax of the story approaches when the ogre, about to confess his feelings for Fiona, overhears part of a conversation she has with Donkey and misinterprets her words, believing she called him an ugly monster. Hurt, he hands her over to Lord Farquaad at dawn and returns to his swamp, now empty and silent, but feeling an even greater emptiness. Donkey, feeling guilty, goes after his friend and clarifies the misunderstanding, revealing the princess's secret. Realizing his mistake and the love he feels for her, the protagonist decides to stop the wedding. With the help of the dragon, whom Donkey had found and tamed again, they fly to Duloc in time to interrupt the ceremony. The ogre storms the church and declares his love for Fiona, who, encouraged, decides to reveal her ogress form to everyone. Lord Farquaad, disgusted, orders them both to be arrested, but the dragon intervenes and devours him. The ogre and Fiona finally kiss. With true love's kiss, the spell is broken, but to everyone's surprise, she remains an ogress, her love's true form. The film ends with a big celebration in the swamp, with all the fairy tale creatures, the ogre, and the princess getting married and living happily ever after, completely redefining the concept of happily ever after. So, did you enjoy this nostalgic trip through one of the most iconic films of all time? Shrek proved that it's worth looking beyond appearances and that true heroes come in all shapes and sizes. The journey of the ogre who just wanted peace and ended up finding love teaches us valuable lessons to this day. Now we want to hear from you. What's your favorite scene? Which character made the biggest impression on you? Leave your comment below. We'd love to read it in chat. Don't forget to leave a like to support the channel and share with friends who are also fans of this incredible animation. Your interaction is essential for us to continue bringing content like this. Thanks.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.